Well, hello there, and welcome to this video on how to disable Windows Update on Windows 10, because for some reason Microsoft doesn't trust the users of its operating system to check for updates at a time that suits them. Instead, it downloads updates in the background without your consent, and then restarts the computer at the worst possible time in order to install these updates. And if that wasn't bad enough, some of these updates cause issues such as boot loops, blue screen of death, and other critical errors which prevent the computer from being used efficiently, or at all in some cases. And is it fair that we might switch our computer on for 5 minutes to check our bank balance, or to check emails, and that the computer suddenly decides, nope, I must update your system files, please wait 2 to 3 hours for me to complete?
Sorry, okay, thanks, bye.
Great job, Microsoft, on treating your users like naughty children. I suppose they think this is acceptable because at one point they were giving away this OS for free. Well, newsflash, Microsoft, the hardware on which your operating system was installed was not provided by you. And it's extremely frustrating to spend hundreds, even thousands of pounds on a computer setup and then have Microsoft dictate how it functions. Our computer, our rules. You better get used to it because people are always going to find a way around your restrictions. Which makes me wonder why they're even imposed in the first place. Okay, so you can probably tell that I feel strongly about this subject, because it's impacted my workflow on several occasions, and also destroyed the installations of several friends' PCs. So I tried various things to prevent the updates, and finally ended up with this method which I'm about to show you right now. But before we do that, let me just start off by saying, you are responsible for your computer. If for some reason it goes terribly wrong, I'm not responsible for the outcome. You should be comfortable with what you're doing before you proceed. If that means making a backup or a system restore point, then so be it. Please, please, please watch the video in full before you attempt to do this. Okay, let's begin. Hold the Windows key and press R to show the Run dialog. Now type in regedit, R-E-G-E-D-I-T. If you're on a later edition of Windows 10, then paste the reg key in the top and press Enter. If you're on an earlier edition of Windows 10, start from Computer, access H-key Local Machine, System, CurrentControlSet, Services, and then scroll down until you see wuauserv, which is the service that allows Windows Update to perform automatic updates. Right-click this folder and go to Export. Type a file name. I recommend the exact same as the service, or you could call it Activate Windows Updates, or something similar. Now that you've made a backup of the Windows Update service, right-click and go to Delete. Press Yes when it asks for confirmation. You'll now need to restart your computer for this to take effect. Once your computer is restarted, go to Windows Update and press Check for Updates. You should see that it fails with an error message. That's because the service which Windows Update relies on to provide updates is now missing. And we can confirm this by going to Task Manager, Services tab, and checking for wuauserv, which of course will be missing. Now making changes to the registry in this manner is usually quite risky, but my computers have been using this method for several months and there's been no problems, which is good enough for me. But removing this service for long periods of time is not a good idea, and I don't recommend it. You still need to check for updates at least once a month, which is why we made a backup of the service. So when you're ready to check for updates, go to the folder where you saved the registry export, double-click the registry file, and press Yes when Windows asks you to confirm. It will then notify you that the keys and values have been added successfully. And as before, you need to restart your computer for the changes to take effect. After the restart, go back to Windows Update and press the Check for Updates button. You should now see that everything's working normally again. And there we go, it's as simple as that. I really wish we could go back to the Windows 7 version of Windows Update. You know, the one where it notifies you of updates but doesn't actually download them until you say so. It's possible that Microsoft may implement a feature in future editions of Windows 10 that will recreate this service if it's not already found, or is corrupt in some way. But for now, this was the only possible way to block Windows updates, as of the 1703 build of Windows 10. Realistically, you should be making regular backups of your system if you don't want to risk your system to a bad Windows update. The software I use and recommend is called Macrium Reflect and is free for home use, which allows me to make a backup of my system before applying a new Windows update, and then revert to the backup in case anything goes wrong. So hopefully this video has helped you to regain control of your computer again, and if it has, then consider giving the video a thumbs up. If for some reason this didn't work or you're receiving an error message, then leave a comment in the comment section below and let me know what's happening. Maybe I can help you. Or maybe you're watching this video in the distant future and there's been some sort of update which has disabled this method. If that's the case, then check the video description or the pinned comment for an update if one exists. And that concludes this tutorial on how to disable Windows Update on Windows 10. You've been watching Derek Deagle, otherwise known as Desert Eagle Derek. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.